You might know the Modern Software Engineering channel, but what you don't know is the story about how we transformed the business behind the scenes. If you're a fan of the channel or you appreciate the content that we're putting out over there, then this video is going to be about how we transformed the business and the story about how it started really, and how it's changed our business and our lives. So yeah, come along for the story. Just to introduce myself quickly, in case you're not familiar with who I am, I'm Tom Farley. I'm the content strategist behind the Modern Software Engineering channel, and I also help other experts in technical fields achieve similar results in growing their business via their content marketing. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button as well. It really helped me out on the channel. Yeah, like I say, this one's going to be a bit more kind of story time than usual, tips and tricks I help experts use. But I think that it would be interesting to some of the fans on the channel. So yeah, if you do enjoy it, then hit the like button. And if you're a long-time fan of the channel, get in the comments and let me know. So let me just start with setting the scene and how all this came about, really. So to start with, Continuous Delivery was an independent software consultancy built by my dad, Dave Farley. He spent most of his working life trading his time for his money, traveling all over the world, and working some crazy hours in order to achieve the results that he wanted to in his consultancy business. Some of you will be more familiar with him than others, of course, but he's a pioneer on a certain way on how to build software called Continuous Delivery, and wrote the book on Continuous Delivery. In the main, he was happy being his own boss and working on his own time, which of course is great, but the travel in particular was taking its toll on him, I think. At the same time, I had gone to university, I'd got a media degree, I'd worked as customer support for some technical teams, producing software, and then kind of fell into social media and content marketing, which is obviously what I do now. But just going back to Continuous Delivery, the consultancy business, obviously, like most consultancies, its strength lay in solving technical problems and technical expertise, but there was a growth problem. Obviously, being just a one-man band consultancy has its limits. Then there comes the turning point, and forgive me in this section because I go a little bit deeper than anticipated, but I think it's important for adding some context behind why we started doing this in the first place. So for many of you, you might be sat in a similar kind of position where the consultancy is going great, you're your own boss, that's amazing, but traveling too much, blah, 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 there's a limit on how much you can grow, and it's not as scalable as you might like. All pretty normal for consultancies in the traditional sense, and it was the same for Continuous Delivery. And then 2020 arrived, and we all know what happened then. But just before we get to March of 2020, let me explain the position that I had found myself in at the start of 2020. In January of that year, I had just bought my first house. I'd gotten married the year before. I had an 18-month-old daughter, and I had another daughter on the way. All of this was as a 25-year-old. So I was thinking, yeah, I'm on my way to a steady life, been pretty successful up to this point and happy with my lot. Then, of course, life has an awesome way of bringing you back down to earth sometimes. Just a month after moving into our first family home, I was made redundant from the job I had at the time. This is prior to the pandemic, I must add, of course. So I'd just taken on my first mortgage. I was without a job, and I was looking in a job market when, of course, no one wanted to hire anyone new, just to furlough them a month later when COVID hit. So yeah, bad timing all around there, basically. On top of that, the consultancy, Continuous Delivery, had dried up completely. Obviously, travel was banned during the pandemic, and so a whole calendar year of consultancy just absolutely vanished, and left the business with some questions. Again, a situation that I'm pretty sure lots of other people will have found themselves in. So then, of course, that leaves me and Dave, my dad, both looking for a solution on how best to support ourselves and our families. And to cut a long story short, we decided to pull both of our skill sets together and build something together. And there came the birth of the Continuous Delivery YouTube channel. We felt like that was something that could be digitally scalable and more sustainable over the long term. So first things first, what we knew the business needed was inbound leads, authority, and brand building, all of which can be pretty hard just to build from a traditional consultancy business where you're only meeting kind of handfuls of people at a time. The decision to make content on this stuff was obviously a marketing decision and a business decision, but was driven as well by my dad's strong urge to make developers' lives better and help them achieve things that they didn't think were possible before in working environments that they don't really enjoy. We started the channel to explore ideas that we were already familiar with and build a community around those ideas so that it can feel like a supportive environment for our viewers and us as well. Soon enough, that audience were paying us back and they became our client base. We were getting 10 times more consultancy requests than we ever were pre-pandemic. We could put the prices of those consultancy services up, and we had an engaged audience of developers around the channel and the ideas that we're discussing on the channel as well. I have a video here on what the first year of our journey on YouTube really looked like, kind of a bit more in detail than I'm going to go into in this video, which is kind of the trials and tribulations of that first year. So if you're interested, you can go and watch that one. But let's get back on with this. For the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about some of the business decisions that we took along the way and kind of our plans for the future and where we're at now with the channel. Obviously, it's a bit different, as some of you might know. So before we get to the big change that really took our business to the next level, let's talk about content strategy that we employed straight from the get-go, basically. They focus around kind of 3 content pillars, you could call them. So one of them being reach, one of them being stick around content, and one of them being conversion content. Reach is basically just broad tech interest topics that you may have seen on the channel if you're a fan. Something like the difference between a software engineer and a software developer. Stick around content, which we like to call it, is more about kind of making one of those viewers that first discovers the channel really stick around and become kind of a casual viewer, so they dip in and out. That might be something more like how to go from being a good developer to being a great developer, or great developer habits that you should know by the time you're 40. And then finally, conversion content. That's the stuff that kind of dives more into the nitty-gritty, niche down, and this might be something more like 3 areas that your continuous delivery pipeline might be letting you down, where it's hyper-focused on a topic with a pain point, and we're trying to gather as many leads as possible to potentially end up with a consultancy request or sell them a digital product that we developed over the time in the form of a course. So each video has a purpose in building a community around the channel, and that community helps us hold up our business and continue to be able to provide valuable content to our viewership. Not every video needs 1 million views in order to be a successful video. In fact, some of the most popular videos on the channel with the most views actually probably bring in the least revenue because they're not niched down enough into a really specific problem that a software engineer might be having, which is where you really start to be able to gather prospects that could lead into paying customers. That was a lesson for us to learn in the early days, of course. When you first start out with content, you think, I need as many views as possible and I need as many subscribers as possible. But these are what we call vanity metrics, and they're not as important to a business. What's important as a business channel or creating business content is that you need to have an engaged audience over a large audience. So don't chase those vanity metrics. Instead, chase strategy and systems that can help you achieve the results you want. So when we're talking about our conversion content, the model that we use is we drive people from our videos into a mail list so that we have another community that is outside of the YouTube community, and those people we treat as our hyper-engaged part of our audience. We make sure that we gather the kind of information from them about where they've come from or what convinced them to convert, so that we can communicate with that prospect with exactly what they want and what they need, rather than just spamming them endless information about a course they really won't be interested in or a topic they know little about. Instead, we're using really targeted communication to get the point across to them, and also, like I say, just provide them with what they want. We also have a Patreon group, and our patrons support us and pay a little bit a month for some exclusive content and a separate community on Discord that they're able to support each other, as well as receive some support from the experts that we have on the channel. So just to say here, any of you CD patrons that are watching, you're awesome. Except for that one guy. Hey, Bernard. I'm going to get into the big change that we made and our plans for the future in just 1 minute, but I've just got one thing to cover first. I kind of touched upon it earlier in the video, but all of our content is kind of leading towards our training courses. Obviously, this is the most scalable side of our business. The training courses are already built, and so our job is just to market those and set up systems that kind of drive prospects or leads down our funnel into a potential sale. These training courses cover the same kind of stuff that we talk about on the channel, but they go a bit more in depth and have some kind of more hands-on exercises for students to be able to engage with. And this is the part of the business that really sustains us and makes everything else possible. Digital, scalable products that don't require travel, don't require in-person workshops, and don't require us trading our time for money. Oh, and also, hopefully, it's pandemic proof. But yeah, and of course, we get to continue helping people. And that is something that is really important at the core of our business across the board for all of us. We just get to educate people in a much more sustainable and profitable way. And obviously, that makes our lives a lot better. So now, the shift in the business model and what it looks like today and what our plans for the future are. You may have noticed that this year, the continuous delivery channel became the modern software engineering channel, where we invited a handful of other experts to join us on the channel and present their ideas to add some variety to the channel and hopefully at some point some opposing views as well, to create discussion and continue to build this amazing community that we have around the channel. This is something that I've been pushing for a little while now. We wanted to broaden the horizons of the channel so that we can become a platform that is consistently delivering value to our viewers and our customers from various different places, from various different experts. Instead of the business just relying on one person and the content that they can produce, my dad, we have broadened it out so that we have other experts who are, of course, experts in their field, have different ideas and are able to deliver those ideas concisely and intriguingly to an audience online. Thought leadership is, of course, at the heart of what we're doing here, and supporting those people that have that vast experience and knowledge to be able to deliver their message in a better way than they have been before is something that we're finding rewarding, and I hope that they're enjoying as much as we are. And still at the core of all of this is what we want to do is help people do a better job and be happier in their work life. So helping those experts be happier with the way that they are able to deliver their education to their audience helps them to create better learning material for any of the viewers of the channel, and it just leads to a better process all around, I believe. From the feedback that I've got from them, I think they're genuinely enjoying building something bigger and better for the community in the software engineering industry around our channel. The business plan is still fairly similar, where we're delivering valuable content for free online to help people learn and to help share with their teams, but to eventually try and drive people into taking those more in-depth courses to help us sustain our business, but also to help teams build better software faster, just with more experts being able to share more of their experience and their knowledge on different topics. We want to become the school where people go and learn high-level software engineering techniques and learning to build better software faster by learning the essential and more complex techniques at the heart of some of these practices, and also to enjoy their jobs better. We also want to be the place where the experts that are contributing to our training school are feeling that they are enjoying the process of sharing their knowledge and experience more in a more profitable, easier and faster way than they were before. In this world, we don't have to run out of pie. We can always just make a bigger pie and everyone can have some. That's my view on it, and that's the beliefs of our business still today. So what went from a one-man band consultancy in the beginning of 2020, thrust into uncertainty, is now much bigger than we thought it was going to get, and happened much faster than we thought it was going to. All of which is exciting and cool, but of course there were some hiccups along the way. And so just quickly in this section, I'm going to talk about some of those more challenging bits that we went through in the early days of building this online business that we have today. So these are the lessons for others looking to build a business with content at its heart. Number one, think like a media company rather than a consultancy. Share content strategically in order to achieve your goals. Don't be sporadic and random. Think about the business benefits of each piece of content and the progress that you are going to make from that piece of content. You also need to think about what your audience needs and the way that they process information in order to help them believe that you are the one that can actually help them achieve their goals. Number two, document all your ideas publicly. That's how you build trust and then get that engaged community around the content that you are sharing. Don't be afraid to be opinionated and share your ideas that may cut across the grain, because sometimes that might just be what takes off. Remember, the community that you build is the most powerful bit of content marketing. And finally, build systems that support your expertise. Stop traveling all over the world, spending too much time doing things you don't want to do. being in places that you don't want to be, all in the name of building your business. There's a better way. You can build sustainable systems around your content like we have that make your work life much more enjoyable. I'm just going to finish on this, and this is a little bit gushy, so I apologize in advance. So like I said a moment ago, we went from a one-man band consultancy, I personally, a new homeowner with a new kid and another one on the way, that had just been put on a slippery slope that was looking worrying. So we took a risk. This company was able to secure mine and my dad's short-term futures, while also give us the platform to build something really cool together. Continuous Delivery Limited, the company that is behind the Modern Software Engineering channel, now employs me, my dad, my mum, my brother, my uncle, my best friend, and now my wife too. It has been a lot of hard work to get where we are today, and it hasn't always been plain sailing every step of the way. But what a gift it is to be able to build something like this with my family that is helping people all around the world achieve things that they didn't think were possible and hopefully feel happier in their day-to-day lives. Pretty cool. I think, and I hope, that the viewers of the Modern Software Engineering channel can tell how much care and effort we put into all of the content that we put out there. But I also just want to say thank you if you have been a supporter of the Modern Software Engineering channel for changing my life and helping support my family's life too. It's really cool. Anyway, enough of all that emotional stuff. Slightly different video today, a bit more story-timey. I promise that I will get back to some of the more tips and tricks stuff around building a business with content. I just wanted to detail what's possible when you start building a business that is just sharing valuable content online. And if you're new around here and you're looking for some help with some technical content strategy, then this is the channel for you. So hit that subscribe button. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers then.